The difference in today's words are like night and day. Hi everyone, welcome to Language of Life for Little Learners. This is your favorite Bible nerd, R.A. Sweeney, and today I want to talk about another pair of words. So here recently we talked about light being the word or, and we talked about choshek being darkness, and we talked about those together because they're kind of opposite terms. And I wanted to dig into another pair of opposites that go along with that. So in Genesis 1, in the first day of creation, we see that God creates the or, and he separates it from the choshek, so he separates the light from the darkness. But then he goes on to name the two different things that he just made. And it's interesting that he does not say that he called the or and the choshek. He says that he called the light day, and he called the dark night. So I wanted to talk about those two ideas together because they kind of go along with the ideas of dark and light. So in Hebrew, we have the word for day is yom. If you want to say it with me, yom means day. And we'll do it one more time. Yom means day. And it really gets used a lot like we use the word day in English, meaning, a day being like from this time until the same time tomorrow, or the day of the week. It can also mean the daytime. Different people will apply it to larger periods of time, I think, kind of as a metaphor. So you might see, like in Genesis 2, it says, it talks about in the day that God created the land and the heavens. And so some people are like, so it can mean more than one day. I don't know that I necessarily buy that so much as, it being a Hebrew idiom that, like, when you start something, that's when you did the thing, or even when you finish something, that's when you did that thing. So I read that more as, in the day that he began creating, or in the day that he finished creating, rather than that all 7 days are being referred to as one day there. But some people will apply yom kind of like we would say the word era, where it's not a fixed amount of time, it's just kind of a general period of time. Like I said, I don't necessarily agree with that, but some people will use it that way. But in general, it means a day or daytime. And it actually comes from the idea of heat. So like in the hot part of the day versus the night is the cold part of the day. And so, like I said, it can be day, meaning like from now until the same time tomorrow. It can be a day of the week. It can be daytime, all those different ideas of day. And then the opposite of that would be night, which typically... pretty much everywhere in the Bible, it is Layla, but the actual root that means night is Layil. So we'll go with Layil because that's the root, and I'm trying to stick with more roots. But just like the name that occasionally we'll see in English, Layla, is very similar to how you pronounce that Layla. But we're going to go with Layil because that is the root. So if you want to say it with me, Layil means night. And we'll say it one more time. Layil means night. And that's actually kind of an interesting word too. Because the root, it comes from an idea of winding or being turned back. And so that's one of the things I love about Hebrew is the language matches the biblical concepts so well versus, any other language. Like we're trying to apply our worldview to the Bible, whereas Hebrew is just the language and the worldview all go together. And so this idea that if day was separated, it was pulled out of the darkness to separate the two things, nighttime is where we fold back into that darkness that was before. Which is really kind of a cool thing. With night, it really does just apply to nighttime, whereas day can be like a full day, a 24-hour period, or it could be just daytime. Night is the nighttime. It's the time when it's dark out. Really, the implication that we see with Genesis 1 is you've got the greater light for the day and the lesser light for the night, which most people assume means the sun and the moon. So it's really like that time when the moon and the stars govern the heavens as opposed to the sun being the primary governance of the heavens. But it's nighttime, just like we would use it in our language. So we'll just recap those one more time. We've got daytime, which is Yom. So say it with me. Yom means day. And we have Layil, which means nighttime, as we typically think of nighttime. So say it with me. Layil means night. So those kind of build on the ideas of or as light and choshek as darkness. We have Yom as day. We have Layil as night. And we'll actually get one more pair of words that kind of go together with that same sort of idea that we'll talk about next time. But for now, I hope this was a blessing. If you guys are enjoying these lessons, make sure you subscribe so that you get these when they come out every week. Liking them helps other people find them. If you want to share them with anybody else who'd be interested, I would really appreciate it. But for now, I am grateful to have you here with me. Hope you're enjoying them, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.